男は天使と悪魔をその身に飼っている。
The man harbored both an angel and a demon inside his body.
神から試練ばかりが与えられる彼らに、
God constantly sent him through trials to test his faith.
天使は憐れんだ。なんてかわいそうな人間なのだと。
The angel pitied him, saying he was a poor human.
悪魔は笑った。なんて滑稽な人間なのだと。
The demon laughed at him, saying he was but a foolish human.
すると男は自らを憐れむ天使を殺し、悪魔だけを受け入れてこう言った。
The man then killed the angel who pitied him, and accepted the demon, saying to him,
そう、私は滑稽な男なのだ。
Yes,
どうか忘れてくれるなよ。
I am a foolish man. Never forget that.
悪魔よ、お前は滑稽な私が犯した罪の証だよ。
Demon, you are proof of the terrible sins this foolish soul has committed. Oh, that just happened. Lucas. Red tears flowed from the eyes of the doll Nadia always kept by her side. Lucas breathed heavily. On the bed was a victim who died in a manner far different from his purification rituals. An existence that may or may not have been called Nadia lay on the bed covered in red. Blood dripping from her flesh and onto the floor. Suddenly, Lucas's dull eyes regained their light.
そんな、私はまた。
What have I... Lucas... Did we usually have a chapter 4? I feel like... Maybe I just never saved in chapter 4. I want to look at our flowchart. So, are we the only one who had chapter 4? Oh no, there was chapter 4 in other ones. So... Oh, chapter 4 is small on the other ones. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we get to the ending. So... Same here? Okay, so chapter 4 was a little longer on his. We're getting close, but dang. Yeah. If it wasn't getting dark before, it's getting dark now. He just killed his sister that might not have been his sister. I mean, it was his sister, but it wasn't. But it was. Drop your weapon, please. No, I need to support him, right? Right? You should, but he also... I guess... Well, there's no one else for him to slash. So, I guess just support him? I don't know if it's good. Oh, it is? Okay, good. Nice. Okay, sweet. quickly held him up as he began to stumble. I need to pray for her now. Yes.
君の言う通りですね。私には嘆く権利すら
Yes.
ない。
You're right. I don't have the right to grieve. He slowly lowered his arm, with the dagger in hand. He had shouted so much that he didn't want to kill anyone anymore. But regarding the reliver in front of him, the person who looked like his younger sister, he was distraught over killing her without any hesitation. I grabbed the collar of the doctor who showed us the pledge on Lucas's behalf. Where did you take Nadia?
ですから、同意のもとリライバーに。
Like I said, she became a reliver as the pledge. Liar. There's no way a person who kept true to her feelings would decide to become a reliver in such a short time span. Even if she did, she would never have done so without contracting Lucas.
さすがにこの程度の言い訳で騙されてはくれないか。
I see that this isn't enough to fool you two. The man had a small transmitter attached to his white coat. And what came through was a familiar voice.
カプシーヌ。
あれほど従順だった君がなぜ私の言いつけを破ってまで侵入したのか疑問だったが。
I was wondering how you were able to break through the brainwashing to infiltrate the hospital.
君の影響だったか、セレス君。いやはや、愛の力とは寒々しくて恐ろしい。
It must have been you, Ceres. I must say, the power of love is indeed terrible and fearsome.
そのまま寿命でのたれ死ねば都合が良かったというものを。
Things would have ended more satisfactorily if you died from the curse. His hateful words were being directed, not at me, but at Lucas.
だがまあ、その執念を評価して。
Fine. I should reward you for your efforts.
本物のナディアに再会させてあげようじゃないか。
I will allow you to see the real Nadia.
やはりナディアは生きているんですね。
I knew it. Nadia's alive.
もちろん。今は私の個人的な研究室でゆっくりと休んでいる。
Of course she is. She's resting comfortably in my personal laboratory.
場所を案内するから、目の前の男から通信機を受け取り、
Scared.
誘導に従ってくれ。
I just had a thought. Remember when we were at the institute? They were saying, oh, someone did try to do the whole medical thing once, but they got put on death row. And Donut asked Cyan, oh, what happened to him? And Cyan's like, oh, I don't know. But what if Dr. Capucine or Cappuccino is actually that person? Like, what if he somehow escaped death row? And now he's living as Capucine, continuing his experiments and whatnot. And what if Nadia is now a chimera? She's Nina and I don't know what the dog's name is. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I just have dark thoughts. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. I will invite you here So take the transmitter from him and follow my instructions. The man emotionlessly refused. The man emotionlessly handed the transmitter to Lucas. He took it and latched it to his clothes. It was risky to trust him like this, but we wouldn't know where he took Nadia unless we followed his instructions. Which meant we had no other choice.
セレス君、君はここで
Ceres, you stay? No. I'm going too.
しかし
I appreciate your concern. But even if I didn't go, I might be abducted by someone here since the hospital is managed by the Society. More importantly, I came here to see Nadia. I have no intention of leaving until I can confirm she's safe. He must have known that I wouldn't bend no matter what he said.
無茶だけは
No
し
promises,
ない
but
で
I'll
くだ
try.
さい。
Promise me you won't do anything rash.
いざという時は迷わず私を見捨てて逃げるように。
If push comes to shove, leave me behind and run. He spoke sternly and then... I'm
ご
sorry.
めんなさい。君も遺伝子上は確かに私の妹なのに。
You're genetically my younger sister, but still.
本当に私は薬一つにも打ち勝てない。どうしようもない
I really am a
男だ。
I really am a pathetic person, unable to fight the drug inside me. He covered the body of the reliver Nadia with the bed sheets and offered a prayer of repentance. Lucas then held my hand. We headed through the hospital with just our footsteps making any sound. This was the second time I was at the Society's true base of operations. But what I saw was much different from what I could recall before. No one's here. And there's no one in the tanks either. There were people in the tanks last time.
実験体として利用されていたリライバーまで姿を消していますね。
Even the relivers used for his experiments are gone. I was able to avoid seeing the horrors of the experiments, but the silence was even eerier.
そのまままっすぐ。そうだね。先日彼女を拘束していたあたりまで来てくれ。
Keep going straight. Go to where she was held captive that day.
すぐそばに他のものよりも光が弱い照明がある。その真横、右側の壁を3回ノックすると。
There's a light that's brighter than the others. Knock the wall to the right of that light 3 times. We followed the instructions given through the transmitter, and Lucas knocked on the wall. Suddenly, a rectangular outline appeared.
本部にこんな隠し通路が。
Never knew a hidden passage exists. It seemed even the closest to Capucine were unaware of the hidden routes leading deep into the facility.
ここまで来れば案内は不要だろう。ナディアも愛しいお兄様の到着を心待ちにしているよ。
I don't think you need my instructions any longer. Nadia's waiting to see her brother. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. This is gonna be bad. The transmission from Capucine suddenly came to an end. It seemed like he had no intention of talking to us again until we arrived. Beyond the door was a dark passage with no end in sight. Lucas walked through the passage ahead of it, and soon we ended up in front of an old door. Lucas took a breath. I need to take a breath too. Then put his hand against the door. He slowly opened it and stepped into the deepest parts of the Society's secret base. This is surprisingly nice. Oh no, dolls! Oh no, dolls! Oh no, child dolls! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! It's like that episode in Black Butler. Oh no. Light shone into our vision. Inside the well-kept room were a number of medicines organized into multiple cabinets. My eyes caught sight of the pale dolls that could be found everywhere I looked. Because remember they said that the serial killer that was supposed to be on death row, he was targeting young children? And here we have a whole bunch of creepy dolls that are young children. And Nadia, who's a young child who was taken. Freaking Capucine. Okay, let's continue. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be traumatizing. My eyes caught sight of the pale dolls that could be found everywhere I looked. Yes, and hey Choco, remember that one episode from Black Butler with the dolls and the little girls? I think we're having a repeat of that. Nadia's been taken. We're about to experience trauma. More trauma. Literally, yeah, pretty much, yeah. Very, very similar. That's... Because a while back, in a scene at the Institute, Donuts was talking to Cian, and he's like, oh, hey, someone tried to figure out cures for diseases, but he was put on death row because he was experimenting on young children. And Donut asked Cian, whatever happened to the guy? Cian's like, I don't know. The authorities took him. So I have a feeling that Cappuccino is actually the guy who was previously on death row and he somehow escaped, and now he's capturing little children and as a doctor. Yeah. This is gonna be bad. Even badder than when Lucas killed the fake version of his younger sister. I guess this is good. Hi, baby. My eyes caught sight of the pale dolls that looked like they could be found everywhere I looked. I don't know. They stared at us in silence with their eerie, dead eyes looking at you. What is this place? What I saw at their facility was much worse, but this room was incredibly unsettling. I looked around to see why, but found nothing. The dolls! It's the dolls! The devices I saw here looked similar to what I used to see in the other facilities.
ようこそ私の自慢の研究室、いや美術館へ。
Welcome to my prized laboratory. No, my museum.
ここへ支援者以外の人間を招くのは初めてだ。心から歓迎しよう。
You're the only ones I have ever invited here apart from my supporter. I welcome you from the bottom of my heart. Who is this supporter? Lucas stepped forward with his guard up, as blood dripped from his body.
カプシーヌ。
教祖様とはもう呼んでくれないのだね。
So you're not gonna call me minister anymore?
残念だよ。君のことはずっと昔から弟同然に思ってきたという。
You sure didn't act like it earlier. Too bad. I always saw you as my younger brother too.
私もあなたや先代教祖のことを兄のように信頼、いえ、もう信じておりました。
I trusted. No. I blindly trusted you and the previous minister like we were family.
ですが、これまであなたたちが私やナディアにしてきた仕打ちをすべて思い出した以上、
But now that I know what you people have been doing to Nadia all this time,
もう献身を捧げることはできません。
I can't offer my service to you any longer.
ナディアはど
He's
こで
like,
す
oh,
か？
she's right up there. Isn't she beautiful? He's such a creep. Now where's Nadia?
答える気がないというのなら、
If you don't answer me, then... Lucas clenched his fist with power and intimidated Capucine with his words.
おお、怖い怖い。今砕かれるのはさすがに困る。
How scary. It would be troublesome to be destroyed now.
私の体は少々特殊でね。新たなものを用意するにはそれなりの手間や時間がかかるんだ。
You see, my body is rather unique. It takes some time and effort to create a new one. New body? Is he stealing like little girls' kids' organs to sustain his body and then turning them into dolls? And then, I don't know, a bit creepy? I wonder if that meant he created new bodies for himself in the past. It almost sounded as if... Capucine. Don't tell me. You're the leader of the Society of Exorcists, but you're a reliver?
ああ、かれこれ40年以上は教祖を務めさせてもらって
Lucas,
いる
kill
から
him! Kill him! Kill him! Why isn't the thing working? Kill him! Yes, I've been working as the minister for roughly 40 years now. He nonchalantly answered my question, that would shake the foundations of his teachings.
バカな。ありえない。
Impossible. That can't be true.
教団の教祖は寿命を迎えるたびに指名制で完全なる別人に引き継がれていくはず。
Hi. The minister of the society names someone to become the next minister before they die.
現に私を拾った先代とあなたの容姿は似ても似つかない。
To add, you don't look at all similar to the previous minister.
先代か。彼は確かあ、まあ
Previous. I believe he was... Uh,
ようやく見つけた。君がリュカ・プルースト君だね。
finally found you, Lucas Proust, I presume?
もう大丈夫だよ。私たちと共においで。
Don't worry. You can come with us. It's a voice changer. Did you never see his face?
こんな声色だったかな。懐かしいね。あの日はとても寒い夜で、君も風邪をひきかけていた。
I believe this was his voice. It feels like only yesterday when I found you. We were both about to catch a cold that night. What? Those words of salvation were spoken by the previous minister to bring Lucas to the society. But the current minister was saying it in the same voice as the previous minister. Lucas stared in shock. What? I thought it was impossible to create relivers with different appearances.
厳密には不具合が生じるので作ることを禁止されているだ。理論上だけで言えば可能なのだよ。
To be precise, creating relivers with different features is prohibited due to bugs. Technically, creating one is possible.
無論、カプシーヌという身分や名前もすべて偽り。
What that means is that Dr. Capucine, you know, is merely an alias.
我が名はオーテ
It is him! Oops. He is the creepy guy that was part of a researcher in the institute. And then he did stuff, illegal things. And then he got put on death row. And then he somehow disappeared. He is the guy. That was the name, Orti. My real name is Orti. Donut, please come save us! Where's Donuts? I want donuts.
あの傲慢なる男に一度は底辺へと落とされた。
Hey, watch who you're calling. Wait, I mean, he is arrogant, but. Watch your mouth. That arrogant man drove me to my lowest points.
この世で最も遺伝子という存在を愛する男だ。
I am the only one in this world who loves and appreciates genes. Give me a sec. The cat's outside the door, and I want to let him in because I need a kitty to hold because this is gonna be messy. Bo is in the house. Again. And so is Fritz. Oh, they're both here. Yay! Alright, let's see how fucked up this is. I should probably put a top on this water bottle because it is bound to fall if the cats jump up here. Yeah. This is a story of a man so fascinated by arts found within the human body. I was born into a family of farmers in Coing, with an appearance much different from now. When I was young, my parents passed away from the curse at 23 because they didn't have the money to become relivers. Fortunately for me, I was much more intelligent than the other children my age. So I was allowed admission into a special school where the children were trained to one day work at the researchers at the institute. Researchers were given special treatments in this country, given priority to process of becoming relivers. I majored in genetics, the most difficult and important subject to earn the money and status to gain the right to become a reliver. I studied day after day, staring at the phantasmal genes depicted in my textbooks. My efforts were rewarded. I was invited to join the Institute and given the means of escape from the curse of death through reliver technology. Bye-bye, bye-bye, baby cutie pie. Since then, I plan to achieve enough results there for me to live a decent life as a reliver, but it was then I saw for the first time real genes that weren't just a diagram in a textbook. The double helix containing a wealth of information to create life was so beautiful.
なんて素晴らしい。
Truly amazing. I trembled before it, moved to tears. Yes, it was the very moments I was completely captivated by the mystery and majesty of the human gene. From then on, my life changed. My parched soul was finally nourished, and I did everything to keep them by my side. I spent days and nights on my research. Before long, I rose through the ranks and was allowed to conduct my own research. I then focused on a particular subject. I was mesmerized by women who possessed a unique ailment that others didn't.
わあ、何度見ても美しい。
So beautiful.
同じ人間だというのに、コードされた情報がわずかに異なるだけで、遺伝子はここまで美しくなるのか。
We're supposed to be the same. Yet just a slight variation in the genetic code can make genes this beautiful. But
私の愛する遺伝子たちが23年ごとに死滅するなど、あまりにも耐え難い。
it's excruciating to know that my beloved genes must perish every 23 years.
どうにか遺伝子たちだけでも守り続ける方法はないだろうか。
There must be a way to protect the genes forever. This guy's crazy. After extensive thoughts, I came up with the idea of creating a new breed of human. I used technology to my advantage. I edited and combined multiple genes, modifying my creations so that they could endure the curse. Yeah, he's definitely the guy who Jean got the technology from. I bet they get along splendidly. They're probably best buddies. And then altered the life I created into a vessel that would contain my precious genes.
これだ。
Eureka. The original genes I modified did experience some after effects, but it was nothing in comparison to the preservation. But then,
趣味ならよそでやれ。
enjoy your hobby somewhere else. He dismissed my work like it was nothing. The man was seen as a god, loved by heavens as a true genius. That man was the oldest reliver and this country's savior, Cyan Brophis.
人間を延命させるために遺伝子を研究している施設で、
The Institute is dedicated to researching genes to extend human life.
遺伝子のために人間もどきを作るバカな研究がなぜ必要とされると思っている。
I have no use for foolish experiments that create fake humans simply for the sake of genes.
大体だな。お前が数年かけて完成させたこの尊き研究とやら。
Let me add, this precious research of yours that took years to complete.
かつて俺が1週間程度で構築し、使えないと捨ておいたものとほぼ同じだが。
I constructed the roadmap to a similar idea within a week, but tossed it out as something useless. What humiliation. The ideal I sought wasn't even a stepping stone for the genius loved by God. But years later, someone found value in my work. I would like to support your research. I would rather support your ambitions than help Slan Brofise with his eternal loop of stagnation. A researcher at the Institute contacted me to offer support. With his cooperation, I abducted humans and relivers from the slums to use as test subjects for my experiments. But my activities were discovered and reported to Scion Brofise by that crafty little boy who became his confidant. I was kicked out of the Institute and sentenced to death. Then my supporter pulled strings to help me escape from before my execution. Who's the supporter? I successfully hid myself amongst a recently established Society of Exorcists. He didn't conduct his research on human genes to save humans. He was trying to protect the genes he liked, and used humans for his mad experiments.
その時極刑が果たされていれば
If only he was executed back then. Capucine ignored Lucas's mutterings and continued. I found a little group of researchers to conduct their research from a different angle to find the reason behind our short lives.
あちらには劣るが、ここの設備を乗っ取ることができれば、研究を再開することができる。
We might not have everything we need right now, but if we took over this place, then I could restart my research. I immediately pulled the idea to action.
あくまでも人道的な範囲での研究を。
Only research as far as it is humane to do.
どれだけ研究に行き詰まろうと、他者を巻き込むことだけは絶対に許しません。
No matter how difficult your work may become, do not involve others in a manner that goes against humanity. Pathetic. So pathetic that I killed our idealistic founder in a way that made it look as though she died from some disease. Then I became the next minister as a real human. Yes, sleep is afraid of me. I will fight the sleep. I'm engaged. I'm focused. I don't want to sleep. I want to know more. I want to know the story. And I got a cute kitty here. I deceived followers and sometimes used drugs to brainwash them into preaching about the dangers of relivers. The perfect hideout was constructed. No one would expect a reliver-hating organization to create relivers for use in their experiments. But then, a problem arose. Turning the organization into an anti-reliver group required me to change my identity. After all, my appearance and age were fixed as a reliver, which would cause unnecessary commotion amongst the followers. So I used the experimental records that the founder left behind. Reading her notes surprised me beyond belief. It seems she herself had reasons to hide her true identity, which was why she was actually a reliver. I assumed it was because she, like me, was a criminal on the run. She discovered a way to change the appearance of relivers while minimizing the risks associated with such modifications. She wrote, "It is possible to change one's appearance at the risk of creating clones with bugs and damage its functions and memory bank." The backup data contained a person's genes. So what she did was keep 99% of the genetic data as is, then change the remaining 1% by replacing the genes with someone else's. By doing so, she was able to successfully create a clone possessing different hair color, and facial features. I immediately pulled her work into action. I timed myself so that I could die at the right time to prevent suspicion that I was a reliver. I then created different clones, using them to become the next generation of ministers. I made it look like I was passing the torch to the next minister, but I remained its head. I doubt I need to explain the rest. I used devout believers, and sometimes fanatical followers as cover, so that I could obtain all the blood and hearts needed to conduct my experiments.
そのためには使える駒が必要だ。
In order to do that, I need a pawn. I hired assassins for the role, but I sought someone more efficient. And that was when a letter from my supporter arrived. The supporter informed me of an existence that even Cyan Brofis wasn't aware of. He was from the Proust family, renowned for their strength and dedicated to guarding the royal family. It seemed he was the strongest amongst them. A true monster who was born to kill. The child named Lucas Proust. I saw an opportunity when he left home with his younger sister. I offered salvation while keeping them in captivity. I brainwashed him thoroughly, planning to use him until he died from the curse.
今に見ていろ、シアンブロフィワーズ。
Cyan Brofis, you're such a fool.
私が生み出した生命こそが新たな人類と呼ぶにふさわしい存在だ。
The life forms I created are the only ones worthy of being the new human race. I don't know about that. Capucine spoke to us about a man from the past. A man who held a grudge toward Cyan. A man who saw beauty in genes and worked to bring it to life only the genes he adored. Those 2 points were the only things that moved Capucine. He had no interest in fighting the curse whatsoever.
随分と長く語っていましたが、
Spoke for a long time, but
結局全てはあなたの私欲と自己顕示欲を満たすための過程や方法に過ぎなかったということですか。
ultimately, you're saying you only ever cared about glory and satisfying your own desires. Meaning, the ritual you ordered Lucas to do after killing the relivers was bullshit.
予想
It
通
was
り、
bullshit.
リュカ君をはじめとした信徒たちを納得させるためのカモフラージュだよ。
Yes. It was a charade to convince Lucas and the followers of the importance of it.
私としては 実験に使う遺伝子。血さえあれば十分だったのだが。
To be honest, I only need blood for my gene modification experiments, but
かの支援者がなぜか変死体の隠滅や心臓の提供を必要に求めるものだからね。
my supporter is strangely adamant about obtaining the hearts and hiding the bodies. Who is your supporter? Yeah, who's your supporter?
さあ、どこの誰かは私も知らない。奴とのやりとりは手紙や部下を介して行っているのでね。
Who knows? We've been communicating through letters that were delivered to me by my subordinates.
研究所に所属していた時ならば交流があったかもしれないが。
Perhaps that person was someone I knew from my time at the Institute. Perhaps?
異なる容姿のリライバーに生まれ変わった際の記憶と肉体の齟齬による欠落の影響で。
You see, changed in clone's appearance means the memory that is downloaded won't match the body's data exactly.
私の記憶は一部欠落しているのだよ。
So a part of my memory is missing.
だから彼女どちらだったか。支援者の顔や名前はまるで知らないんだ。
Which is why he, or was it a she? I don't even remember their gender. I simply can't recall their face or name. He spoke as if trying to recall the memory of an old friend. Unlike Lucas, who was brainwashed, this person knew that his actions were evil, yet showed no remorse about it. And now, Lucas and I both felt an ominous unease. Lucas suddenly began to speak as if to shake off the feeling.
あなたの身勝手な過去とナディアに一体何の関係が。
So what does your selfish past have to do with Nadia?
時間稼ぎのつもりならば無駄で。
If you're trying to buy time, it's no...
君の人質とするために引き取ったナディア・プルースト。
I took a Nadia Proust in an effort to hold you hostage.
部を司るプルースト家に生まれながら正反対の虚弱を得てしまった異例の存在。
She was born a Proust, but unlike those from the family, she was born with a terminal weakness that made her unique. Lucas's shoulders twitched.
私はかつてそんな彼女に興味を惹かれてね。試しに血液検査をしてみたところ。
I was very interested in her very unique circumstances. So I took some of her blood to investigate.
なんと彼女は遺伝子疾患があり、さらにはその原因となる遺伝子が。
I found out she had a very rare genetic disorder. Even more surprisingly, the genes causing her disorder were
私が今まで見たこともないほど美しいことが判明したのだ。
absolutely beautiful beyond belief. Unlike anything I've seen before.
そう、一目惚れだ。
Yes, it was love at first sight.
私はあの少女が持つ遺伝子に燃えるような恋をしている。
I am madly in love with the genes that made up her body. Yeah, what? The ominous feeling finally manifested in its worst possible form because of Capucine.
恋。
Love? Not for Nadia, but... He fell in love with the genes that were eating away at her body? The moment we realized what he was saying.
お
Despicable.
ぞましい。
Despicable. Lucas covered his mouth with his hand.
お前はこの8年間あの子をそんな狂った目で見ていたのか。
I had this slight feeling that he was like that he had some kind of attraction to Nadia. There was something not right. There was something not right. And this isn't right.
しかも遺伝子疾患だと病名が分かっていたのに、私やあの子に知らせもせず。
You knew she had this genetic disorder, but you did nothing to save her. Just like you didn't save me.
お前のような外道にナディアの遺伝子から紙一本まで捧げるものか。
I won't let some lowlife like you have a single strand of Nadia's hair.
その言葉そっくりそのまま返してあげよう。
I could say the exact same thing to you.
あんなにも楽しそうにリライバーを殺していた殺人鬼が今さら私を責め立てるのか。
I'm being denounced by some killer who murdered relivers with so much joy.
それとも洗脳されていた自分には一切の非はない。
I mean, it is, though. How are you going to shift blame to the brainwashing rather than yourself?
まさかお前と私は同類だ。
No. But you're no different from me.
多くのリライバーを自分のために殺めてきた救いようのないクズにして。
You're irredeemable scum. And a true demon for killing so many relivers for your own sake.
寿命を全うすることすらおこがましい。
You don't have the right to
本
die
来
of old
なら
age.
ば今すぐにでも裁かれるべき人間でしょ
Your judgment and punishment should be delivered immediately.
う。ですがその破滅にセレス君とナディアを巻き込むことだけは
I won't let you drag Ceres and Nadia into your path toward destruction. He repeats his first demand with murderous intent.
もう一度言う。これが最後の忠告だ。
I will say it once more. And this is my final warning.
私たちの妹ナディアを返せ。カプシーヌ。
Turn our younger sister Nadia to us at once, Capucine.
私と同等のクズであるお前が相手なら肉塊にすることにためらいはないぞ。
You scum just like me. So I will not hesitate to turn you into a lump of meat. The intimidation emanating from the strongest man in the country would not be matched. He would keep his word and strike him into the ground if Capucine dared to refuse.
やれやれ気の短いお兄様だ。
My, what a short-tempered brother you are.
どうせならば祝福の言葉が欲しかったのだが。
You're going to say something. I was hoping for words of blessing.
反対されているのなら仕方ない。これも我らに与えられた愛の試練か。
And again, I suppose it can't be helped. I should accept this as a trial of love. Capucine didn't seem intimidated by Lucas's words, and showed no sign of running. He walked toward it all, leaning against the bed, and rubbed its cheek. Suddenly, the doll's pale skin molded the Capucine's caress with his fingers. it was some kind of doll made of porcelain, but the doll's skin was strangely supple. And in a few seconds, the doll's cheeks returned to its former curve. It was as if the doll had flesh like a normal human's.
君とは長年の付き合いだった。だが私もとうとう運命の人を見つけてしまってね。
We've known each other for a long time, but I have finally met the one destined for me.
よって君とはここでお別れだ。
And so I must bid you farewell.
安心したまえ。君が残してくれた遺伝子は彼女の中で永遠に生き続ける。
Don't worry, the genes you so dearly took care of are inside her forever. My mouth went dry in an instant. My heartbeat quickened, and a sense of unknowable feel took over. The doll slowly fell onto its side after Capucine moved his hand away. Suddenly, from the doll's hand and feet, coagulated blood splattered upon the floor. The pressure in the room changed to silence. We looked around at the other dolls in the room. Upon careful inspection, we noticed that their arms and legs didn't exactly match each doll's body. It was as if they were created using parts from separate human bodies.
リュカ君、私はね、ナディアの遺伝子に恋をしたあの日から。
Lucas, ever since I fell in love with Nadia's genes that day,
彼女の遺伝子をすぐにでも自分のものにしたくてたまらず。
I simply couldn't hold back from making her genes my own.
君を利用しつつも、君が死ぬのをずっと待っていたんだ。
So I continued to use you two to do my bidding, waiting for the day you would finally die. Footsteps echoed from the spiral staircase.
だから今回の発作で、ようやく君が死んでくれると思い。
I thought your most recent seizure would kill you, but
少々先走ってしまった。
it seems I acted prematurely. I heard dragging. I looked in the direction of the sound to discover a large thing covered with a cloth. That thing. It was walking slowly down the stairs, as if it was going to fall down. It finally arrived next to Capucine.
さあ、私の美しい花嫁。
Now then, my beautiful bride.
せっかくめかし込んだんだ。君の大好きなお兄様に晴れ姿を見せてあげなさい。
I dressed you up to perfection. So why don't you show yourself to your dear brother? Capucine pulled off the covering. From beneath appeared a doll-like being. It had a natural white skin. It wore a dress and veil dyed in red. From one of its elbows, bulging veins wrapped around its arm, and widened to become an unrecognizable hand. I noticed then that the dress was adorned with a garland of skulls and roses. And The hair under the veil. This is fucked up. Was the same color as the person next to me, whose eyes were wide and open. The fuck? It's fucked. It's fucked. This is so fucked. I knew it was gonna be bad. That thing. It was a creature over 2 meters tall that was only part human.
どうだね、美しいだろう。これがナディアを核として私が作り出した新人類だ。
That is not human. That is like nightmare fuel. That is like some like. This is some horror game shit. I mean, this is a horror game, isn't it? Actually, so that makes sense. But like, what's it called? With a. It's one of those messed up monster type things, like, oh gosh, I forget what it's called. But it's a game. This ain't right. This ain't right. This ain't right. This ain't right. Cappuccino, you need to go. You need to go. You need to die. You need to go. You need help. You need serious help. Isn't she beautiful? I've created a new breed of human using Nadia at its core.
今彼女の肉体には20以上の女性の遺伝子や部位が組み込まれている。
Her body is composed of genes and human parts from over 20 different women.
その代償として体躯は巨大化してしまったが、外見など私にとってはどうでもいい。
In return, her body did grow larger than I expected. But her outer appearance doesn't matter to me.
君もそう思うだろう。私の愛しい遺伝子の花嫁、ナディア。
Don't you agree, my dear genetic bride, Nadia? You didn't realize she's a child! This... Cappuccino's a pedophile. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. That's it. And a crazy, psychotic scientist. With weird taste. I want to see something, but I also don't want to see it, but I don't know how to. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so beautiful dress, awesome, wonderful. Look at those human bones. A gorgeous detail. Definitely win the Fashion Award week. 10 out of 10. I don't know. No. Like the way that's dyed, that dress. That looks like human tissue. I'm not going to sleep tonight. Sleep is for the weak. Oh no, sleep is for those who have not seen this. I don't know which I'd rather have. This or Nina and Alexander as a chimera. Which one is worse? I can't choose. The moment he looked into the eyes of his sister, who was turned into a horrifying bride. I almost heard a sound of something crack in Lucas's clear eyes. With a scream, he fell into despair. It was slightly past midnight. As usual, the researchers were staring at the genetic data provided without concern for their personal health. It was the same with the deputy director, Donuts. His team's focus was on the hearts. The next updates would be coming soon. They needed to ensure that there were no issues with changes in memory size or transferring emotions into memory.
ブローの被害者が続出しても、うちはいつも通りの忙しさですね。
Looks like we're busy as usual, especially with so many of Barrow's victims.
リライバーがターゲットって言うなら、うちの研究所が真っ先に狙われそうですけど、有能な警備兵さんには感謝です。
Since he's targeting relivers, I thought he'd come after us. I'm grateful we have dependable security guards. Just as he was thinking of what to bake, to show his gratitude to them,
ダハと10秒で支度しろ。
do not be ready in 10 seconds.
警備兵たちを連れエクソシスト教団の病院へ向かう。第2部隊の指揮は任せた。
We're taking the guards with us to the Society's hospital. You lead the 2nd Brigade. Sign continued with a serious expression, saying that they were going to arrest some criminals.
え？検挙ってとうとうあの病院法外的な治療費の件が咎められたんです。
Arrests? So is the hospital finally in trouble for their insane medical bills?
違う。以前胃潰瘍であの病院に入院していた男がいただろう。
No. Do you remember our employee being admitted there because of ulcers?
そいつがな、数時間前、なぜかリライバー化して研究所に戻ってきた。
A few hours ago, he was somehow returned to the Institute as a reliver.
無事退院できたならよかったじゃないですか。なんでそんなことで
They're
検
not
挙なんて。
supposed to have that technology. That's the thing, Donuts. They're not supposed to have that technology there. Isn't the good thing he came back safe and sound? I don't see why we have to go in and think, boy.
病院でリライバー
There we go.
反リライバー組織が運営してるのに
Did you just say reliver? At a hospital managed by an anti-reliver cult? More importantly,
機材もないはずなのにどこでどうやって
I doubt they have the proper equipment to do such a thing. So how?
俺がクルーンたちから受けた協力要請が全ての答えだろう。
The request I got from Karun is the answer to your questions. He thought for a bit. Vez had reached out in search of a possible facility that illegally manufactured relivers. Which meant
あの病院がブローをリライバーとして蘇らせたってことですか？
Are you saying that the hospital revived Barreau as a reliver?
十中八九そうだろう。
I assume that's the case.
クローン体と入れ替えられた前の男は今頃ろくでもない目に遭っているだろうな。
A former employee who was replaced with that reliver must be experiencing hell now.
しかも見てみろ。奴が盗んできたこのカルテの筆跡を。
Besides, look at the handwriting on the medical chart he stole.
筆跡？
This handwriting. He looked through the wrinkled papers. As science said, the writing used to chart the notes about the patients looked familiar. Too familiar. It looked like the handwriting of a criminal from a number of years ago.
オーティさん。
Artie? Yes. The handwriting was strangely similar to the handwriting of a man who should have been executed for toying with life.
王族を問い詰めたらあっさり白状した。
The royal family finally spilled everything after I pressed them for answers.
当時極刑を受け護送中のオーティを警備を担当していた近衛兵が隙を突かれて逃がしたらしい。
What apparently happened was that Orty escaped when the soldier in charge let his guard down.
そしてその集体を別の近衛兵へとなすりつけ、今の今まで隠蔽していたそうだ。
They then put the blame on another guard and hid their failure from the public. That meant... Donna quickly looked through the medical records once more. The handwriting was similar to Ortiz, but the name of the doctor responsible for writing the medical records showed Capucine. It was the same doctor in charge Nadia's care. The pervert who killed countless children under the guise of preserving genes for his own good. He was with Nadia every day.
僕、すぐに着替えます。オーティの確保はお任せしますので、僕は入院患者の保護を担当。
I'll get ready right away. I'll take care of protecting the patients, so please take care of Ort. Just as Donut was about to run out, an alarm sounded for the first time in years.
うつせ。
All on. Science Command turned on the displays to show what was happening outside. There on the screen, a certain image appeared through the security camera set outside the institute. A carpet of red spread across the front gates. The powerful guards and the reliver staff working outside, they were all dead, with every limb sliced from their bodies. Standing amidst the horror was Lucas Proust. He was there with the halberd that was used only by Barreau. He stood silently with an insane expression.
Nadia.
Lucas fell to the floor with his head in his hands in front of what was once Nadia. She didn't move at all, even when he spoke her name. As for me, I still couldn't believe what I was seeing. No, I didn't want to believe it. But she was just in her room. She looked so happy when she greeted us. So, why? Why did this happen? Someone so innocent and kind. All I knew was,
どうだね。私の妻となる人は美しいだろう。
I think it's hideous. What do you think? Isn't my soon-to-be bride beautiful?
この際だ。君のことを兄様とでも呼んだ方がいいのかな。
We're at it. Perhaps I should call you brother as well. This man was the source of all that had happened.
貴様
He threw his bloody dagger in a fit of rage. But Nadia used her beast-like claws to deflect the flying blade.
ナディア、なぜそんな外道をかばうのです？
Nadia, why are you protecting that scum?
ああ、言い忘れたが、彼女は君のことを覚えていない。
I forgot to mention. She doesn't remember you at all.
支援者の紹介でダウンロードする記憶をある程度操作する面白い技術提供を受けてね。
My supporter introduced to me an interesting technique that allows me to control parts of the memory download process. Don't tell me your supporter is like Jean or something, right?
彼女に偽りの記憶をすり込ませてもらった。
So I implanted a false memory during her download.
彼女が覚えているのは私が自分の旦那様であるという一点のみ。まともな自我こそ消失しているが。
The only thing she knows is that I'm her husband. Nothing remains besides that.
だからこそ彼女はこの世界で唯一の拠り所たる私を命を懸けてでも守ろうとしてくれる。
Now that I'm her one and only memory, she would try to protect me no matter what. With that, Capucine lifted some of Nadia's hair with his hand.
やめろ。やめろ。その子は私とセレス君の大事な妹だ。お前の花嫁などではない。
She's mine. She's mine and Cereza's precious sister. She's not your bride.
お願いです。ナディア、戻ってきてください。
Please, Nadia, come with us.
私はまだあなたに大切なことを何一つ伝えていない。
I still haven't told you anything important.
私のことを嫌っても軽蔑してもいいから。
You can hate me, you can despise me all you want, so please. His prayer wasn't answered. His bride saw a man trying to harm her husband, so she moved in to kill her brother. Her veins bulged as she raised her huge claw in the air. Seeing the reality of what was happening, I can't do this anymore.
もう無理だ。これ以上は頑張れない。
I can't keep this up. His voice lacked the will to live. I suddenly came to my senses and quickly reached out to the table in front of me. I grabbed one of the containers that held some kind of liquid.
小娘、貴様何を
You, what are you doing? Capucine was too slow to react, as he probably didn't see me as a threat. Without much thought, I quickly started throwing the containers filled with liquids between Lucas and Nadia. The liquids caused some kind of reaction. The room quickly became filled with white smoke and an irritating odor so strong that it was making me dizzy.
ナディア、近づくな。有毒ガスが発生している。
Nadia, don't go any closer. That gas is poisonous. Nadia stopped upon hearing Capucine's command. After coughing a few times, I grabbed Lucas's arm, where it lay limp on the floor. Stand up, Lucas. This is our chance to escape. Please stand up. I don't want to see you get killed by Nadia, so please. He probably didn't have any fight left in him. Lucas slowly stood in a daze in response to my pulling on his arm.
今度こそ、あの化け物は用済みだ。
It's time to put an end to that monster.
最後に仕込んでおいたあの暗示を使わせてもらおうか。
And finally use that trigger I grafted into his mind.
せいぜい残り少ない命を使って私のためにリライバーを殺し尽くすといい。リュカ・プルースト。
Look forward to hearing how you used the last of your life to kill the Relivers, Lucas Proust. I lent Lucas my shoulder as we did our best to leave the hospital. We fell into one of the nearby alleys the moment we made our escape. We somehow dragged ourselves through the alley, bruising our knees so that we could find a place to hide. There was no commotion, and I didn't see anyone coming after us. Maybe he left us alone because Lucas was close to death. My legs are cold. The door is open. I'm cold. My former teacher remained stunned and unmoving. I did my best to somehow get us here. But I was at my limit too. Nadia. Despair and sorrow gripped my heart. I could only imagine the horrors Nadia must have experienced to be transformed into that gruesome body. I imagined her calling Lucas's name for help. I cried with anguish while Lucas showed no signs of emotion. A number of shadows appeared from above. The next moment, behind us appeared. It can't be. I saw a silhouette as tall as the fake, who diverted suspicion from Lucas that night. The man with his face hidden slowly walked toward Lucas. He then grabbed his head and slammed him into the ground. Ah! What are you? I tried to stop him, but someone struck me on the temple. I lost my strength and crumbled to the ground. He was touching Lucas's neck to check his pulse. He then took out a familiar syringe. No! I extended my hand, but it was too late. The needle pierced Lucas's vein. Slowly, the liquid was injected as an invitation to madness. So hot. Hot. My mind melted from the burning heat. Memories from the past and present swirled inside my mind.
Nadia.
Ever since I was a child, I could only cause destruction, except for my precious treasure, who used to innocently hold my hand. My vision exploded in white, and in the next moment, she had turned into a monster. All she wanted was to live like a normal person. Why did she have to be remade into a deformed mass? The dark emotions I suppressed returned to defile my heart. I hated everything that took her life. Why was my mind so clouded? I couldn't remember the person I should hate.
誰か
Someone.
私からあの子を奪った元凶を
Please tell me who took her life.
私が復讐すべき相手を
On whom I should
教え
take
てくれ
vengeance.
ならば教えよ
Allow me to tell you.
うすべてはあの悪魔どものせいだ
It's all because of those demons. I could hear a voice similar to mine from some unknown location.
リライバー技術さえなければ
If it weren't for Reliver technology,
あの男が遺伝子に見せられることもなくナディアが作り変えられることもなかった
then man would not have succumbed to the genes and changed Nadia to who she is now.
ゆえに憎むべき元凶はリライバー そして開発者であるシアン・ブロフィワーズ。
Therefore, you must hate Relivers. Hate the one who created them, Cyan Brofis.
復讐を望むのなら奴らを殺せ。一人残らず根絶やしにしろ。
If you seek justice, kill them all. Do not let a single one escape.
奴らを殺してお前がナディアの無念を晴らすんだ。
Kill them. Kill them, bring Nadia's soul peace. That was wrong. Killing would only sadden Saraz. It's enough. It's enough already. You've already done your very best. I wondered, when did my student become someone so precious to me? She said Nadia was sweet and wonderful after they first met. She didn't think of her poor soul like even I once saw her. My dear beloved, the sins I carried would never disappear. But I didn't want to defile my body that she would willingly embrace with blood. My resolve quickly vanished upon feeling a sharp pain run through my neck. Her mentioned voice melted into the darkness. I tried to reach out to her, but realized that I couldn't move. Kill, 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 kill. The command to kill slowly seeped into my mind with each wild heartbeat. My pulse sped up and my mind went numb. Now my precious emotions and memories were swallowed whole by the torrents of heat.
いやだ、私はナディアだけではなく彼女への思いすら失うのか。
Am I going to lose even my feelings for her after already losing Nadia? I could no longer conjure the memory of her warm embrace.
ああ、これが
I see.
本物の神が私に与えた罰だというのか。
So this is the punishment I'm receiving from the real God? I see. I see.
ただ裁かれるよりもはるかに苦しく
This is much more unbearable than simply being
耐え
judged.
難い。
After keyboard, after keyboard, after keyboard. We have a candy here. No, off the keyboard. The final wail. My love was swallowed by hatred. The man walked away after injecting Lucas with 5 syringes. Lucas! I somehow got back to my feet and rushed over to shake him back to life. But his breathing was shallow and his face pale. After numerous seizures, his mouth was covered in blood. I wasn't sure why they let us go. But first, I needed to have Lucas get some medical treatments. My only hope now is that somehow get us to the... My only hope now is to somehow get us to someone I can trust. As I try to lift Lucas on my back, the light from a candle lights the area.
貴様らこんなところで何をしている
Stop. What are you two doing here?
夜間は外出禁止の通達が全区に届けられているだろ
The districts were notified that all citizens are prohibited from going outside at nights. The two large men with the royal guard appeared in front of me. I raised my voice at our unexpected fortune. Please help! He's lost consciousness. I didn't have time to think about who I was asking for help. The men looked unhappy with being bothered by a commoner like me, but then...
う。おい、そっちの男、血まみれじゃないか。まさか、ブローに襲われたのか。
Hey, they just noticed. Hey, that person, he's covered in blood. Were you two attacked by Bro? Something like that? His expression changed immediately as he misunderstood the situation.
なんだと小娘、何があったのか事情を聞かせてもらうぞ。
Girl, you're gonna tell us what happened later. Of course, but please, can we take him to a doctor first?
病院ならば目の前にあるだろう。そこで治療を受ければ。
There's a hospital nearby. We can take him there and... Well, I went to get a doctor from there earlier, but... They kicked me out, saying that they didn't want to get involved with Bureau. The two nodded, wittily acknowledging the lies I spoke naturally. The two tried to lift Lucas up, by first crouching on the ground, when... A shimmer. I heard something cut the air. Like, where do you even get the halberd? Did it just appear out of nowhere? Petals of blood bloomed across the ground and walls. Uh-huh. The two fell to the ground as blood flowed from their necks. Lucas was slouched to the ground, but I looked at his fingertips. His cleanly cut nails were covered with warm blood. Dang, those sharp. He's got Wolverine nails. Lucas? He sliced her necks with his nails. A single swoop killed 2 trained soldiers. I held my breath. He slowly raised himself back up to his feet. His mad laughing pierced the night sky.
何が神だ。私はもうそんな不確かなものに惑わされない。
God. I'm no longer deluded by such uncertainties. His pupils dilated while his beautiful iris is contracted.
リライバーさえ
Relivers?
命を使い捨てもてあそぶ技術さえあの男が作らなければ。
That man had created the technology that spat upon life.
私とナディアは普通の人間として死ぬことが
Nadia and I
できたかもしれない。
may have been able to die as normal humans.
罪のない身で セレス君と出会うことだって。
Could have met Svez, clean and sinless. Lucas? The only thing his eyes exhibited now was hatred. He must know what he was saying. It was a desperate wish. His regrets spilled out in fitful heaves, and at times seemed to come out as questions. Shut the door again. The cats have left, so. We're close to the end, so I'll just. Oof. Boop, boop, boop. Boop-a-doo. His sanity had completely deteriorated. He then mumbled as he breathed heavily. Kill.
殺す。私たちの悲劇に関わるすべての存在を。
Would bring an end to the existence that caused us despair.
私が殺し尽くしてやる。
Kill every last one of them. Please wait! He quickly leapt onto a nearby roof. I quickly turned to prepare myself to run through the alleys when a certain figure appeared.
だから言っただろう。あの男が危険だと。
I told you before, that man is dangerous. Hey, Anko's okay. Anko? The Watchman of Death, who was supposedly killed and buried, came back to life and was now restraining me by my arms. The wind was blowing like this back then.
よかった。まだ起きてたのか、マム。
There you are. I'm glad you're still awake, Mother.
あらミロ、こんな遅くにどうしたの？
Milo, what are you still doing up?
チビたちが一斉に飛び起きて庭に出たいってうるせえんだ。
No, don't. The kids all woke up and kept talking about wanting to go outside.
施設の外には出ないから散歩がてら連れてってもいいか？
I know we're not allowed out, but can I at least take them into the yard? No, don't
ダ
do
メよ。
it.
我慢させなさい。
No. You children need to stay inside.
だよな。ブローに狙われたら絶対全員死ぬだろうし。
Yeah, figured. If Burrow comes around, we're all dead.
ええ、それもあるのだけど、
Yes, that too, but
なんだか嫌な風が吹いてるから。
I don't like how the wind is blowing now.
ああ、確かに今夜の風は生ぬるくて気持ち悪いよな。
Yeah, I feel it too. It's really muggy and gross out.
それに変な匂いもする。なんだろうな、この鉄みたいな匂い。
And it
どこ
smells
から
weird
運ばれて
too.
きてんの？
Kind of like a hot iron. I wonder where it's coming from. It's gonna be a huge massacre. Tragedy began under the dim moonlights. A young and beautiful man's blonde hair shimmered in the darkness. His face was filled with madness as he wielded his giant halberd.
神よ、
God,
理不尽な試練ばかりを私たちに課すつもりなら、
if you're so determined to give us your absurd trials,
その力で私を止めてみればいい。
and try to stop me with that power of yours. The first victim from the residential district for many of Relivers was a rail guard reaching out to him while on patrol. Barreau, Lucas Proust, only needed a few hours. With a populace of 3,000 people, the country of Virche was dyed in fresh blood. He would go down in history as the worst killer of all time. No help!
金ならいくらでも払う。俺はまだバックアップを取ってな。
I'll give you all the money you want. I haven't backed myself up yet, so please. Within an hour, he filled the majority of Cheddars with blood. Hiding inside their homes meant nothing. With his physical strength and halberd, everything fell to ruin.
死にたくない。死にたくない。
I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
本当の意味で死ぬってこんな恐ろしいもんだったのかよ。
I never thought it would be so horrible to die for good. Screams for help burst from each house, whose doors were broken through. The Relivers who tried to escape were found outside and immediately executed.
臆するな。どれだけ腕が立とうが相手は一人。数で押しつぶせば勝てる。
No. Fear not. He may be strong, but he's alone. We can beat him by numbers. The corpse and the rail guard appeared to stop the threats. With over 50 of them, they didn't doubt their victory in the slightest. But Lucas laid waste to all of them without suffering even a scratch. Slice, sweep, thrust, crush. Surrounding Lucas everywhere he went were screams, blood, and bodies. Only 3 remained.
下がるな。死ぬ気でこの場に押し止めろ。
Don't retreat. We have to stop him here with our lives.
クーネとセルネボル、どっちに逃げられてもこの国は終わるぞ。
This country is finished if he escapes into Capucine or Chernobyl.
情は捨てて殺すつもりでかかれ。
Go after him with the intent to kill.
なもん分かってるけどよ。
Yeah, don't gotta tell us twice.
冗談きついぜ。あの先代の息子がブローだ。
I still can't believe it. The old boss's son was Barreau? The halberd came for Hugo, who shouted as he swung his sword. It was a merciless blow without passion.
Hugo!
Yves rushed forward to somehow parry the oncoming halberd before it struck its target. Instead, his collarbone was shattered.
受け止めたわけでもないのに、この威力。
I barely blocked it and still got me good.
まさかこんな形で、リュカ先生の実力を知る時が来るなんて。
Never expected to find out how strong Lucas was like this.
真正面からやり合うのは無謀だ。弾くか受け流して。
It's too dangerous facing him head on. Just parry and dodge.
簡単に言ってくれんな能天気。俺はお前らと違って凡人なんだよ。
Easier said than done. I'm not a battle warrior like you guys. Yves didn't stop and focused on parrying in the incoming blows.
リュカ先生、どうしてこんなことを？
Lucas, what are you doing? It didn't seem like Lucas heard anything that was being said. Why was he on such an evil rampage? The question couldn't be answered, and neither could his expression be seen during his furious attack. Arrows came flying toward him, but they were swatted down with a sweep of his halberd. Adolf clicked his tongue and shouted.
あんたに託したセレスはどうした？あいつまで殺していたら、俺はあんたを絶対に許さねえ。
What did you do with Ceres? If you killed her, I'm going to make you pay with your life. Ceres. That simple name was all they needed. For a moment, Lucas stopped moving. He roared mindlessly with murky black eyes. His sanity was completely lost. If so, then perhaps the massacre was something he didn't want to do. They knew how kind and compassionate he was, and they finally realized that short period of turmoil would create a new tragedy. Lucas raised his halberd high into the air as he let out a silent scream.
みんな、逃げ!
Everyone run! Maybe they could have been the best of friends. Alas, the killer mercilessly, cruelly, unknowingly reaped the lives around him. I somehow pursued the relentless Anko. Persuaded the relentless Anko to let me share the information I knew with the number of corps nearby. We headed for Cernaval via Cheddars, but
これはなんともひどい力任せに殺し尽くしたといった具合か。
how horrible. He massacred them all with brute force. Lucas was nowhere to be found. Death and tragedy was left in his wake. Disfigured corpses lay strewn across the area, and the smell of iron filled the air. I couldn't see a single survivor. We didn't make it in time. He said no. He said he didn't want to kill others anymore. Seeing me stumble with despair, Anko gently supported me.
すまない。私がもっと早くあの男の正体を突き止めることができていれば。
Sorry. If only I had discovered his identity sooner.
少なくとも君を巻き込むことはなかった。
I could have at least kept you away from him. Identity? I thought you knew who he was when you told me that the deaths weren't resolved. You said that the deaths were related to Barreau. We're just beginning.
理由は語れないが、
Cannot disclose much to you, but
私は別の人間を犯人だと思い込んでいたのだよ。
I was under the impression that another person was the culprit. But he discovered that the person he suspected was not only innocent, but also didn't exist. Which was why he investigated further, to find out who Barreau really was. He found out it was Lucas, and was killed once by him for discovering the truth. Honko spoke with great regrets when I hear a weak voice. We quickly moved some of the bodies that lay on the ground to find
Ceres.
Yves! Adolf! They probably tried to stop Lucas in battle. I found Yves barely holding onto his consciousness, while Adolf was out cold. Your wounds... Wait, let me stop the bleeding. With the help of Anko, I tore my clothes and somehow bandaged the wounds.
ありがとう。
Thanks.
多分ヒューゴも近くにいるから。
Hugo, where'd you go? He said princess.
手当てして
I don't think things...
ほしい。
I feel like Hugo's dead. I think Hugo's around, so please, check on him too. Yes, I will. So you just... I stopped mid-sentence from the utter shock. Seeing the horribly injured body that we moved away from Yves earlier. Hugo? He was on top of Yves and took a horrible blow in his place. It seemed as if Yves was in such a haze that he hadn't noticed the body of his best friend beside him.
こらえてくれ。今彼に真実を明かすのはあまりにも酷だ。
Stay strong. It's not the right time to disclose the truth. I somehow nodded as I shook with disbelief.
イブと言ったね。自己紹介したいところだが、あいにくその時間はなさそうだ。
Yves, was it? I would introduce myself if time were not of the essence.
ブロー、リュカ・プルーストがどれだけの犠牲者を出したのか、数はわかるかい？
Do you know how many victims fell to Barreau? Lucas Proust.
少なくとも100人以上。うわ。
At least 100.
この短い時間にそんなにも。殺されたのは全員リライバーかい？
So many lives in such a short time. Were they our relievers? Yves nodded weakly.
マティスがブローが現れたことに驚いて外に飛び出したら
Mathis. He ran outside, surprised to hear that Barreau appeared.
彼を守ろうと追いかけてきたジャンがリライバーと勘違いされてそのまま
Jane chased after him to protect him. But he was mistaken for a reliever, and
なんとかマティスは守りきって避難させたけど、他にもたくさんの
Technically, it wasn't a mistake because I think he
弦
is one.
が
He somehow protected Malthus, made him run to safety. But so many died. So many. Can't be.
無理もない。肌に浮かぶ文様以外にリライバーと人間を区別する方法はないのだから。
I'm not surprised. There's no other way of distinguishing relivers from humans apart from the marks on their skin. Anko then stopped asking him questions, sensing that any more was too much for him to bear now. He then picked up an arrow, snapped it in two.
本当に彼は人間なのか。
Is he really human?
矢をもみ切るというのなら、私の奥の手も通じないじゃないか。
If he can see errors in the air, even my tricks won't be effective. Lucas had finally reaped the life of someone close to him. The endless despair was overwhelming. If that man was in front of me now, I would yell at him to return to the past he stole from Lucas, to return Nadia. But that wouldn't happen. Unlike water, time flowed only in one direction. It wasn't that I was hoping to find happiness with him. I simply wanted to spend the remainder of his life indulging in this little selfishness he had. I wanted to be with him and repent with him for all he had done. God won't even grant us such a small wish. I know it wasn't possible now, but I still couldn't hold back my tears. Uncle looked down at me with a pained expression.
姫君、これで分かっただろう。彼にこちらの言葉はもう届かない。
Princess, do you see now? He can no longer hear our words.
このまま彼の命が燃え尽きるまで安全な場所に身を隠そう。
I take you someplace safe to wait until his life comes to an end. She's gone. Uncle suggested course of action. I'm sorry. I can't do that.
何？
I shook my head. All this time I've been confused. So I've never once said it to my teacher, who had gone mad. If you can't take it anymore, you can say you want help. It's okay to voice your anger. You saved me in the past by telling me I didn't need to be strong all the time. So it's my turn to save you. I need to tell him that he doesn't need to be strong anymore. I promised.
確かに彼の境遇には同情できる。だが
I understand that his situation is a terrible one, but
もう彼は許される範疇を自ら超えてしまった。
he's He's already gone past the boundaries of what is considered forgivable.
だというのになぜ
So why are you still? It was obvious. Because I love him. I know it's strange. I don't understand my feelings either. I must have looked like the fearsome death as he smiled in the midst of chaos and tragedy. Of course, I've been let down by how he deceived me for so long. But I admit, I've lost. I can't seem to bring myself to hate him, even now. My sense of judgment feels completely dull now, but still. I was sure Lucas was waiting for me, even in his madness. I see.
そうか
Uncle's face woke for some reason, upon seeing my smile.
君の彼への思いは分かった
I understand your feelings toward him.
君が言ったところでどうやって彼の強行を止める
But how do you plan on stopping his massacre?
まさか自分が呼びかければ目を覚ましてくれるはずだなどと
I hope you do not believe that simply calling his name will bring him back.
綺麗事をのたまうわけではないだろうね
Surely you must have a better plan? I took a breath. Of course. All the pain I felt suddenly disappeared. I do have a plan to stop him. But I need your help, Anko.
聞こ
How so? I whispered my plan as a nearby house crumbled to the ground. Oh, that's what that noise was. After hearing my plan, Anko's expression showed disbelief, then rage.
ういやはや参った
My. Unbelievable.
どうかしている姫君君は正気かい
That is outrageous. Dear princess, have you gone mad? I'm completely sane. And I'm prepared for whatever happens. I know it'll cause you suffering. So I'm sorry to even ask. I knew what I was asking of him was selfish, especially given how he had kept watch over me all this time. But I had no intention of stopping now.
思いとどまってはくれないのだね
You won't reconsider, will you? Yes. He has committed so many sins that there's no going back. So my role now is to prevent him from ruining as many lives as possible. To be specific, I don't want to have anyone else stop him besides me.
まったくあの男め私の仕事を増やす罪人の分際で憎たらしいじゃないか
Bastard. How despicable that a sinner would increase my workload to this extent.
ようやく会えた私の同胞の心を
こんなにも短い間に射止めてしまうとは。
To think he was able to capture the hearts of my partner so quickly.
焼けてしまうな。冥界で何度罰しても足りないぐらいだ。
Quite jealous. No punishment in Hades will ever be enough for him. Unco's voice shook as he spoke words that didn't fit the situation. I assumed it was his way of saying yes. Yves, I'm going to borrow your sword. I picked up the rapier sitting on the ground next to the now unconscious Yves. I lowered my head to Unco. Will you please help me stop my teacher, who is doing so much to be strong?
姫君がそれを望むのなら。
If that is your desire, dear princess.
不死の体などいくらでも差し出してみせよう。
I will offer you my immortal body as many times as you want. Urged on by the hatred implanted into his mind, Lucas arrived at the base of Reliver technology. The guards looked from afar at the man who drew blood from those around him and was now intruding on restricted property. They knew exactly the threat he posed, hearing the tragedy that struck Chetas and the entrance of the Institute. Which is why they didn't hold back in either defense or defense, offense or defense, showing no mercy.
核兵器を下ろせ。絶対に所長たちの元へと行かせるな。
Lower the barrier. Don't let him get to the director.
あのお方と
Protect my
こ
husband,
この
please.
設備に何かあったらアルペシエルは完全に崩壊するぞ。
Aperture will fall to ruin if he gets to him or destroys the facility. Weren't thinking like that in his route. The guards drew their bows in preparation for the siege. A thick glass wall lowered from the ceiling.
核壁が折れるまで残り5秒。あれだけ離れていれば余裕で間に合いますよ。
5 seconds before the barrier shuts. We got this place secured if it's We got this place secured if he's that far away. No, you don't. The hallway and corridors leading to the lab, to which Cyan and the others had evacuated to, were shut away with barriers. He may be a monster, but he was still human. The guards reveled in a sense of victory, thinking that he wouldn't be able to break through the fortified glass wall. So silly. Of course he can. Lucas took a step forward, toward the gloating men. Another step forward, and another. Lucas lowered himself, and quickly pushed off the floor. In an instant, he was in front of the guards. The death toll for the guards was now 5. Lucas boldly moved past, screaming and deaths. None of the walls touched the floor in time, as Lucas quickly slipped under them with human speed, in superhuman speed. Everyone at the Institute was a Reliver, which was why Lucas had no remorse or concern about killing anything that moved. He killed and killed, but the hatred swirling in his chest didn't die.
どこにいるシアン・ブロフィワーズ。
Cian Brofice.
お前だけは私が
Kill you
この手で
with my own hands. And if you do, I'll kill you with my own hands.
殺せるものなら殺してみろ。
Let's see you kill me then. Beyond the door he destroyed was a device used specifically to manufacture relivers. And
いやー、実に面白い。
it's like he made like 10 of
お
him. It's
前
like,
の
which
ような異
one's the
常
real
個体
one?
を目にするのは俺も初めてだ。
They're all me. Very interesting. It's the first time I've seen an anomaly like you. Zion clapped his hands, welcoming Lucas and the destruction he caused. Lucas leapt toward his target, like a beast, but
おっと、こんな間近で観察させてくれるとは。
I never expected I'd be able to observe you this closely.
お前は間違いなく教師の鏡だ。では遠慮なく探求心を満たさせてもらおうか。
I suppose it's your way of teaching me about yourself. Very well. I will use this opportunity to satisfy my curiosity. I love him. I love him. Stan scoffed as he evaded the strike. He's so cool. Such a bitch, but he's so cool. Scion continued to smile while narrowly dodging the successive attacks. In the corner of a room was a small figure.
いやー、ハルバードの風圧がこっちまで届いてる。どんだけバカ力なんですか。
Halbert's blown wind this far? He's stronger than expected.
っていうかシアンさん、なんでそんな恐ろしい人相手にわざわざ挑発なんかするんです。
Because he's crazy and I love it. Scion, why the heck are you trying to rile up such a dangerous person?
黙れ。これも戦略だ。
Shut up, it's part of my strategy.
口出ししてる暇があるならお前はとっととロックを解除しろ。俺の体力も無限じゃないぞ。
You have the time to talk. Hurry up and disable the lock. It's not like I can keep this up forever.
わかってますよ。
Understood.
ああ、もう誰ですか。こんな状況で外からハッキング仕掛けて僕らをここに閉じ込めたのは。
The hell? Who the hell hacked into our system to lock us in here? Then we typed into the system as quickly as possible, complaining about being locked in. Scion was focused on evading the attacks as a cold sweat appeared on his skin, still figuring out the secret behind Lucas's power.
体育に見合わぬ筋肉の異常な発達。やはり単なる才能や体質の一言では説明できん。
His muscles are abnormally strong despite his slight figure. Mere talents and physical traits aren't valid reasons for his strength.
まさか妹とは真逆の
Maybe the opposite of his sister.
体を強化する類の遺伝子疾患。そんな症例が実在するのか。
Person with a genetic disorder that strengthens his body? Even possible. Though it was hard to believe, it would make sense that the siblings would both possess unusual muscular properties. Next research project, yay!
妹
Suddenly, Lucas stopped in his tracks.
妹 私の大事な
My dear
Nadia.
sister, Nadia.
なぜ懸命に生き抜いてきたあの子が
Why? She did her best to live. Why her?
あんなことに
That happened. Because it's so good! And I'm almost done. We're very close to the end. Why are you still awake? Or did you wake up? Good morning, Choco. Oh, you missed it. You missed a horrifying scene. A horrifying conclusion of Lucas's sister, Nadia. That's some nightmare fuel. Which is worse? What happened to Nadia? Or Nina and Alexander from Full Metal Alchemist? You choose. I have to take a nap and take your girls to school. I don't know what sleep is. I'll sleep later. I'll sleep. At some point. He understood it now.
お前、思考の自由を奪われているのか。
Someone took away your ability to think. That was one of the worst forms of torture that Cyan could imagine as a researcher. Coming to that realization led him to the thoughts, as a scientist, stupid enough to do such a foolish thing. He had a hunch as to why he would do that.
ナディアに何かあったんです。
Did something happen to Nadia? Yeah.
この前会った時、彼女なんだかちょっと元気がなくて。
Oh, well, look at her now. She's looking she's looking like I won't be able to sleep anyway, so. She wasn't looking well the last time I saw her.
お兄さんと何かあったのかなって心配してたんですけど。
So I was worried it had something to do with you. Lucas didn't respond to Donut's words. He suddenly went into a coughing fit. He fell to the floor, splitting blood from his mouth. Cyan could tell immediately that it was because his time was up.
どう転ぼうがさほど持たんのか。どうせなら生きたまま保管したかったんだが。
Suppose the end was inevitable. If only we could have kept him alive.
リライバー化しようにも装置へ運ぶまでにまた抵抗されてはな。
And if I attempted to make him a reliver, it would only fight me the entire way. Cyan frowned as he thought about what he could do.
シアンさん。
Cyan! Lucas grabbed the pole, the halberd that lay next to him. A single swipe. Cyan tried to evade the attack, but his left leg separated from his body. It's just leg. Lucas then used the momentum against the genius, presiding over the life of its country. Lucas, I'm coming for your ass. Murder you. No one kills my husband and gets away with it. Halberd came down swiftly from above and... Sign Brofi sprayed the air with blood from his chest and fell to the ground dead. Okay, Lucas is dead to me. Fuck you, Lucas. He then destroyed the backup units in the laboratory where Cyan may have kept his stock of lives. Witnessing the destruction, Donut shuddered from where he stood near the locked exits.
冗談じゃない。あれじゃリライバーとしても蘇れないじゃないですか。
Gotta be kidding me. If he keeps that up, there's no way anyone can come back as a reliver. Donuts immediately gave up on disabling the lock. He then glanced up at the dock large enough for a child to crawl inside. He somehow slipped in before he became Lucas's next target.
ナディアがどうとか言ってたけど、やっぱり彼女の身に何かあったんだ。
He said something about Nadia. Something terrible must have happened.
だって彼女の主治医のカプシーヌって絶対あのオーティさんだもん。
The doctor assigned to her was Capucine.
ナディアは
I'm sure it must be Orti. But if so, that means Nadia is...
ママよ、諦める前にまずは調べてみよ
う。Screw it! I'm not giving up hope yet. Not waiting for the halberd to be thrown inside a duct, Donut crawled his way through to freedom. Crawl, Donut, crawl! We helped any survivors we found along the way, until we finally reached Science Institute. They killed my husband. They killed my boy. The place was painted red like flames, even more than Inchetta's. We went around each room until we happened upon a certain laboratory. He's here. Lucas.
とうとう彼を手にかけてしまったか。
So finally killed him, I see. He was looking down with an expression at what was once Cyan. He slowly turned around and looked at us with dull eyes. He reacted like a child, tightly gripping the blood-stained halberd in his hands. I could only assume he would try to kill me without realizing what he was doing. I'm sorry to keep you waiting. I'm here for you. Look at you, always acting so rashly when we're left alone like this. You must be tired. Why don't you have a rest? None of my words reached him. He probably recognized me as one of the relivers he was bent on killing.
ダメだ。
No.
リライバー。殺さないと。殺さなければ。
To kill.
またすべてを
Or else. Lose
奪わ
everything.
れる。ナディアも彼女も
Nadia. And my dear.
もう取りこぼさない。今度こそ私が守りきってみせる。
I won't lose anyone anymore. I will protect them with all my mights. This time was wrapped. This time was wrapped and trapped in an illusion. His time was warped and trapped in an illusion. And he would never get it back. His wish could no longer be fulfilled. Lucas embraced himself, as if he was trying to hold back from crying. It was then that Anko moved in front of me. He asked me a question with his back turned to me.
最後にもう一度だけ確認するよ。
I'll ask you once more.
本当に良いのだね。
I knew what kind of end we would face. Yes, I'm ready. I took a deep breath and nodded. I'm sorry to drag you into my selfish plans.
何？これは力及ばなかった私の罪だ。
Why? It's my own fault for being unable to prevent this outcome.
さようなら、セレス。いつか冥界かどこかで再会しよう。
Farewell, Ceres. We'll meet again in Hades one day. He disappeared into a haze. Suddenly, he was in front of Anko and slashed his slender body in half. But Anko was the watchman of death. He spewed blood from his mouth as he smiled eerily, defying death.
さあ、死神による浄化の時間だ。
Now it's time for death to purify you.
甘んじて受け入れたまえ。殺人鬼。
Accept your fate, murderer. I saw Lucas's blonde hair from between Anko's split torso. I thrust Yves's rapier through the gap with all my might. His immortal body acted as a cover to make my blow unavoidable. I could tell through the palm of my hand that the rapier pierced flesh. Blood spewed from his neck. Blue filled the skies. Warmth from the sun spread across the land. The birds chirped as pleasant, peaceful song. Animals slowly closed their eyes from drowsiness. On this gentle day, blessed by God for everyone to enjoy,
これより殺人鬼リュカ・プルーストの伴侶にして共犯者にあたる
Behold, before you is the partner and accomplice to the kill of Lucas Proust.
セレス・プルーストの処刑を執り行う
We now begin the execution of Ceres Proust. On this day, I would die. Sounds of joy filled the air. I walked up to the gallows with my hands tied behind my back.
さあ前に出ろ逃げようとすれば即刻切り殺す
Step forward. If you run, you'll be killed immediately. Understood. I stepped forward as he commanded.
よくもこの国をめちゃくちゃにしてくれたな
Like, how did this even happen? We stopped him, we killed him. Why are we in trouble? For being associated with him? Knew it was. I knew she was dead. It's her fault my husband and son died.
早く死んで首をさらされてしまえ
Hurry up so we can see your dead face.
夫婦ともども冥界で裁かれろ
I hope you two burn in hell. One of the rocks thrown by the bystanders struck me on the forehead, drawing blood. Without much life left in me, I felt like I was going to collapse from the pain. I began to recall the day I killed Lucas. With the help of Anko, I was able to hit Lucas in the neck, which put a stop to his madness. He died almost instantly from the blow. I didn't have a chance to say farewell, as his body went into shock, and like a puppet with its strings tied, cut, he died and departed from this world. I was sad, but I didn't regret what I did. It was the only way I could stop Lucas. The royal guard came afterward with swords in hand, and stood stunned around me. They then began to praise me, saying that I was a hero for stopping the killer. Their words made my heart ache, so... The person sleeping here is my lover. No. I'm his wife. I told them with a bright smile. My words acted as proof that I was Lucas's accomplice. The royal family stood with the one who took over Sion's position. The leader of the Society of Exorcists, Capucine. They gave their final judgments. I was to be publicly executed this day in place of Lucas.
Ceres!
Far beyond the crowd was Adolf and the others who were being stopped by the royal guards. They tried to save me by saying that I was simply a victim, but the country needed a scapegoat to die and bear the anger and hatred of the people before peace could be restored. That was what the royal family said, as they turned down Adolf's pleas. I'm sorry to have caused such trouble until the very end. Please take care of Nadia. I had asked Anko to let everyone know what Capucine had done after he revived. It might take some time, but I was sure Adolf and the others could uncover Capucine's crimes to free Nadia. I would have loved to help them save her with Lucas, but... I stepped onto the stool as the rope went over my head. After tightening the noose, the executioner asked his obligatory question.
何か言い残すことは
Do you have any last words? I was sure people were expecting me to cry and wail, pleading for forgiveness before I was hanged to death. But unfortunately for them, my head isn't big enough for my headphones. But unfortunately for them, I wasn't scared of dying at all. So the only thing I can think of was... I'll be with you in Hades soon, dear husband. Words of despair as close to hope as possible. It felt slightly ticklish to call him my husband. Guided by the illusion of a smile, I kicked the stool from under my feet. My weight sank my body, and I felt the bones in my neck creak. But death didn't come quickly, and I felt the rope slowly tightening its hold. My consciousness slowly began to fade as the breathing came to a shallow. Hurry. I want to meet Lucas. I want to see him. See him. For some reason, tears flowed from my eyes. The pain in my neck disappeared. My ears soon went deaf.
なぜ
Why?
なぜ何も悪くない君が私の代わりにこんな
You didn't
結
do
末
anything
を
wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. So why are you being punished instead of me? Lucas? Why are you crying? I did my very best so that I could finally meet you in Hades.
いいえ君は私のいる冥界には来られない
No. You aren't able to come to Hades.
ここは私のような罪人が落ちる場所
Sinners like me fall to Hades.
君のような優しい人はきっと冥界ではなく天へと導かれるのですから
Someone as kind as you is led to heaven, not Hades.
生まれ変わりでもしない限りもう会えないでしょう
Unless we are reborn, we'll never meet again. Huh?
さようなら同じく天に昇るであろうナディアのこと
Goodbye.
よろしくお願いします
Please take care of Nadia, who I'm sure you will meet in heaven. The voice of the one I loved, and the one I wanted to meet, slowly disappeared. No! Wait! Take me with you! I didn't want to go to heaven, where God had left Lucas to fend for himself. Show yourself to me! Don't go! I'll gladly accept any punishment in Hades, as long as I'm with you. So please. My long-awaited journey of hope had instantly turned into despair. Technically, I think we got the bad end. I mean, they both be bad ends, but I mean, we got the not official bad end, I think. Because I don't see how anything's supposed to come after that. So let's see. Honestly, it's 7 a.m. I should probably go to sleep and we'll see what we did wrong next time. As much as I want to do it now. We'll probably have to mix Lucas's pure despair end with the start of whoever will be next. Damn it, I thought we had it. I was, darn it. Okay, but yeah, it is late, so I don't quite have time for that. I need to get some rest, but anyway, that's gonna be it for tonight. Sad, and at the same time I'm angry at Lucas for killing Cyan. Because, you know, he's my boy. But also, fuck Cappuccino. Fuck you, Cappuccino. And the horrible things you did to Nadia. That's gonna be I'll have fun dreaming of that tonight, this morning, whatever. Anyway, it's been 10 hours, so I'm gonna go to bed. I hope everyone's had fun. I don't expect anyone to watch this in one run, but if you do, props to you. Good job. And I'll see you all later. Tonight we'll be doing, I believe, Speakeasy. And honestly, I'll probably end up cutting that short because of how long this was. But we'll see, we'll see. I mean, I literally said I'd probably only do a little of this tonight because I didn't sleep the night before, but now here we are, 10 hours later. So I was a liar. I'm a liar. But yeah, I'm going to bed, okay? So thanks everyone for coming, hanging out, and I hope to see you again later. As said, tomorrow's Speakeasy. The day after, we're doing the second episode of Solo Leveling and the rest of Cinderella Chef. And then on Sunday, we have The Kid in the Back of the Classroom, I believe is the name of the game. Another indie game. And yeah, that's gonna be the week. So, I'm gonna go get as much sleep as I can. And I hope you all have a good day, evening, morning, night, afternoon. And I wish you all good luck and sweet dreams. Do not dream of hideous deformed monsters, of adorable little girls who did not deserve it. I'll see y'all later, okay?
願いを乗せて指先から